What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, this video should make it very, very clear that the Republican Party is a neo-Nazi, racist party that only cares about white supremacy. Only. The days of saying Democrats and Republicans are the same at this moment are not true. They are not the same. They all got their own shit, but they are not the same. Okay? The Republican Party has currently been taken over by neo-Nazis and Klan members who are trying to preserve white supremacy as they see white supremacy fading away into the history books. Okay? If for all you people who are black Republicans, okay, and you justify being black Republicans on social media because you say you're conservative, without defining what your conservative policies are, right? Because America's conservatism is to conserve white supremacy in the American way, which is the white supremacist way of global domination. If you are black and you call yourself a Republican, you support and you vote for and you defend, and everything you do politically is to support white supremacy. No matter what it is you talk about outside of that, if you step in the ballot box and you vote for Republicans, especially over the last 10 years, you are in fact a tool of white supremacy. And there is no amount of word salad that can rub that stain off of you. Okay, that's why I say you can't be a Republican and a Pan-African at the same time. You can't support black people and support institutions that actively attack black people, and then get mad and respond to the effects that the people that you voted for have on black people, and pretend to be pro-black because you're reacting to what the people you support wholeheartedly, after knowing everything that you know in the age of information. You support them wholeheartedly, but you also get mad at what they do, the things that they said they was going to do, by trying to destroy the black community, black history, and real black knowledge and education and excellence in this country. Yeah. I want you guys to pay attention. So, because the Republicans are being clear, they no longer need you coons, just to let you know. You coons are not necessary. I understand you guys want to make money cooning because you know cooning makes money. Yes. Black people have always been getting paid by white people, right? And rich white people who call themselves Jews, to talk shit and disrespect and represent the black community in the lowest light. So because of that, we always know cooning, whether you're doing it through a hip hop song, whether you're cooning as a Supreme Court justice, whether you're cooning as a politician, whether you're cooning as a sportscaster, whether you're cooning as an athlete, whether you're cooning as a rapper, cooning as a singer, cooning is cooning. And the more popular you can be, the more you can bring in the black community and then slap them with some coonery, the more they will pay you. Okay? But let's be clear. Who you are working for is white supremacy that makes you the enemy. I don't care how hip-hop-ish and coolish and black you look. Okay? Because throughout history, white supremacy has always used those indigenous populations of any lands who don't care about their own people to fight against and subjugate their own people. It's old as history. Okay? So without further ado, you're going to listen to JD Vance, the vice president of these United States, the one that said that that Donald Trump was a Nazi back in the day. But because JD Vance, a disgrace to the United States Marine Corps, by the way, a disgrace to the United States Marine Corps, a disgrace to the military, by the way, a disgrace to America, by the way, a disgrace to all veterans, by the way, JD Vance, right, who has zero spine, and because he has political ambitions to be the president, he will capitulate to white supremacy. That way, that means white supremacy is negotiable for him, obviously, as a white man who's married to an Indian woman. That means he doesn't actually value white women. For somebody who now capitulates to white supremacy, he doesn't even value that white woman who he wants to be supreme for. So obviously, white supremacy is just for male white supremacy. Ain't got nothing to do with women, because he don't love his race enough to get him a nice white wife and make him a nice Anglo-Saxon barbarian family, the way the rest of the white people want. That's going to be his downfall in the future, because he ain't pure enough. Plus, he wear eyeliner and shit. We know you're doing that shit. It's just weird. And we know that his best friend was a transgendered individual. Therefore, at one time, he was open to people in their different, ways of being and living. Now, because of ambition, he is now sold out, just like the hip hop artists sold out, because people are weak-minded. And they allow themselves to be used for white supremacy. So as long as we got people being used who will rather take that money over their people, white supremacy will always have a tool to attack those humans who want to just live and let other people live. But like I said, without further ado, I'm not going to talk anymore. Listen to this, because they're being clear. They're telling you who they are, declaring it out loud. The robes are off. The masks are off. These are government officials. These are non-governmental organizations. These people are getting tax dollars from, keep in mind, our tax money are paying these institutions. These institutions are manipulating policy. We're being directly affected by these people. You understand? So if you sit on the couch because your leader, FBA, your leader tell you not to vote, understand anything that happens to you, you asked for it. Voting has consequences. Politics works when you participate intelligently. The reason why politics doesn't work is because you and your mind are not working when it comes to politics. You are not unified, and you're not being a smart and intelligent voter because you're being reactionary instead of reacting before they come after you. So instead of reacting when they do something to you, you're supposed to take proactive action, and you're supposed to do something for yourself and let them react. But y'all don't do that. Most people don't do that. You just wait for some bad shit to happen, and you're like, oh my God, instead of preventing it in the first place. By getting your ass up in the morning and taking your ass to the voting booth and voting for those who have policies that benefit you and your community. And actually paying attention what the policies are, and not paying attention to social drama that you base your vote off of. Or basing your vote off popularity. It's not a popularity contest. I need somebody that can do the job, not somebody who I'm familiar with as a celebrity. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, let's just be clear. The current Republican Party now is a neo-Nazi administration that only cares about white supremacy, and they will implement those policies as long as we allow them to do it. All right? So if you're a white ally, you need to understand that and get on it. If you black or you POC, understand that shit and get on it. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. And if you're an Asian, you don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college, because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control. We don't persecute you for being male, for being straight, for being gay, for being anything. The only thing that we demand is that you be a great American patriot, and if you're that, you're very much on our team.
So, JD Vance, you said white people no longer have to apologize for being white no more, huh? Wow. That's probably the most racist sugar honey iced tea I ever heard in my life. White people no longer have to apologize for being white? Wow. Wow. That's probably the most racist thing I ever heard anybody say that was a president, vice president, ever. Wow, they ain't got to apologize no more. So who I'm going to hold accountable? Huh? Who I'm going to get reparations from now? Huh? Man, it's some bullshit.
Come on, guys, you're too fucking smart to think that JD Vance meant being a white person when he said you don't have to apologize for being white. You know what dog whistles are. He meant you don't have to apologize for being a white supremacist, okay? White people have never had to apologize for white skin, right? What is the thing that white people have to apologize for regarding their whiteness? Racism, white supremacy, those kinds of things? That's what JD Vance is saying you don't have to apologize for anymore. That's what it is. That is a dog whistle, and that's how he meant it.
I have a message for all of the young white men who may have identified with the theme of the Turning Point Youth Conference, theme that can really be summarized in one statement.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
See, I'm 2 years older and about a century wiser than JD Vance. And like JD Vance, I'm a straight white married dad who grew up poor in red states. But unlike JD, I got to where I'm at thanks to hard work, luck, and a little bit of privilege. Meanwhile, JD Vance exists to be used as a puppet by billionaires to distract and poison an entire generation generation with a victim mindset, a mindset Vance now wears even more effortlessly than his cosplay beard and eyeliner. So please listen to me when I tell you this. I need you to be so much braver than this. I can rattle off the statistics about how 80% of Americans work for white CEOs, or how for every dollar of wealth owned by a white family, black families have 23 cents and Hispanic families have 19 cents. But if you're young or poor or both, you might say that those things don't specifically apply to you and you're still struggling. So I am just going to talk to you. Those billionaires don't give a shit about you. And that is why the entire Turning Point USA conference didn't focus on the working class policies that would help you get ahead, but instead focused on making you feel like a victim due to your identity. They need you to think everyone is a threat, so you don't come to the realization that these gaudy spectacles with pyrotechnics and music, where they simultaneously praise you while carefully guiding you to fuse your identity, your religion, your emotions, and your politics, so that if any one of those things is criticized, you reflexively and irrationally defend all of it, leading you to become incapable of separating reality from myth. These tactics are all purposeful forms of manipulation to trick you into believing that they are celebrating you when in fact they are intentionally poisoning you.
Did you see it? Our vice president speaking to the crowd at the Turning Point USA convention? And the highlight of his speech was, "You don't have to apologize for being white anymore." The crowd cheered. "We don't have to apologize for being white. We don't have to apologize anymore." Huh. I've been white for decades. Not only have I never apologized, I've never had the urge to apologize. I don't know anybody personally who's felt the urge to apologize for being white. JD, it's not the pigmentation or lack thereof that makes a person a good or bad person, that necessitates an apology. It's what the person does in their life, JD. By the way, JD, I'm just curious. Your wife is from India. Has she asked you to apologize for your heritage? I'm just curious. And your kids are, I guess, half white. Do they feel any urge? I hope not. I hope not, JD. I hope they're good kids without feeling they need to apologize just for the lack of pigmentation in their skin. The whole right wing gets sicker every day.
Hello, JD Vance. I'm Linda, and I have never, ever, not once in my life apologized for being white. And it explains a lot about the person you are, that you have felt a need to apologize for something completely outside of your control. I've never apologized for being white. I've never apologized for being Latina. I've never apologized for being a woman or 5'7" or right-handed. I've never felt a need to apologize for who I am. I have, however, apologized plenty of times for things I have said and done. And it speaks volumes that while you have felt the need to apologize for something you can't change, the color of your skin, you don't feel the need to apologize for your deplorable actions or false statements or deliberate attempts to offend. You clearly haven't felt the need to apologize for trying to shame a world leader during a press conference in the Oval Office, no less. You haven't felt the need to apologize to the Haitian residents of Springfield, Ohio, for insisting they were eating people's pets, even after you admitted you'd made up the story. You haven't felt the need to apologize for questioning the competence of the UK's military, calling one of our closest allies a, quote, random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years, unquote. You say things deliberately designed to hurt and offend, especially people with liberal viewpoints. And you tweet lies at the expense of ordinary people. A genuine apology requires empathy, enough self-esteem to admit faults and weaknesses, and the ability to take accountability for your statements or actions. I know you know how to admit you were wrong because you did it once. You said you were wrong for calling Trump an idiot, reprehensible, and America's Hitler. Ironically, the one time you publicly admitted fault, you were actually speaking the truth. Most people apologize because they sincerely regret their actions and the consequences that unfolded. But you apologized because there was something to be gained. Now, maybe I'm way off base. Maybe white people apologize for their whiteness all the time. So to those watching this, let me know in the comments if you personally have ever apologized for being white. And if so, what were the circumstances? If it turns out that I'm wrong, that people apologize for the color of their skin all the time, I will admit that I am wrong. I will offer a sincere apology. I'll say, I'm sorry. See, JD, it's really not that hard.
I swear, these people are going to be the death of some of us, literally and figuratively. So, is it just me, or does JD Vance kind of make you miss Mike Pence? I cannot for the life of me remember anything about Mike Pence other than the debate that he had with Kamala, where the fly was present. Other than that, I can't remember anything he said ever. I know that he called his wife mother, which was interesting, but anyway, so JD Vance said that the other day at this America Fest, whatever, I guess it was a Caucasian festival, I'm not sure, said that they don't have to apologize for being white anymore. What does that even mean? Maybe what that makes me think is maybe had they apologized for some of the things that the whites have done, there would be no need to apologize now. But I think they should apologize for so many things. There's a list, but I'm not going to go into the list right now, but there should definitely be some apologizing. Yeah, for maybe not being white, but doing the things that the whites have done. It makes me feel bad when I say the whites, but not really.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
There's JD Vance saying that in his America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. Hallelujah. We did it, white people. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm checking my calendar, my life right now. Oh, that's right. I can't find a single moment in my entire life where I've ever had to apologize for being white. Now, you know who usually ends up apologizing? White people who said something racist, white people who got caught saying the quiet part out loud. Those are the white people that have to apologize. That's what this actually is. It's not freedom. It's not courage. It's a signal. He's telling a very specific audience, you're not the problem. Even when you are, it's a dog whistle. And if you strip away the turning point stage, the applause, the branding, this is white Christian nationalism. Grievance politics wrapped up as bravery so nobody has to look in the mirror. Quick question, everyone out there. Who here has actually been asked to apologize for being white? I'll wait.
Diversity is not your strength in your marriage. Like if you were married to someone. Is anybody married in here? I've been happily married. Yes, good, well done. The Charlie Kirk billboard had an effect on your life. Diversity is not your strength if you married somebody who doesn't speak your language and you can't communicate with and you have nothing in common with. Diversity is not the strength when I took an Uber from the airport an hour ago. Muhammad had no idea where the hell I was going. And Muhammad and I did not connect, okay? That was not my strength with Muhammad, all right? But because I watched Barack Obama win in this building, that was sort of the beginning of that insanity. And we've lived through that fever dream for the last 10 years, haven't we? With some of those cultural poisons that he foisted upon our nation, maybe because of our guilt, taking advantage of us, because of our guilt or our Christianity, just being nice, where we accept these preposterous ideas that are untrue. It's untrue with your own family, it's untrue in your church, it's untrue in my Uber, and it's untrue in the military, especially when lives are on the line. Thank you for you being here tonight, because that's just something so commonly true. And I think as we move forward as a country, and I just want to thank the leaders at Heritage for this, and it's something that we can do in Charlie's honor, because it's something that Charlie constantly devoted himself to, is to fight that poison where it first metastasizes, which is the campus. It happens on the campus. That's where it first starts. And to fight that poison and to say, no, it's actually okay that we have a Christian country, isn't it? I'm not ashamed of the fact that our currency says, in God we trust. And it also says so on buildings all across this city in giant 3-foot-tall letters carved into granite. And I'm not ashamed of that, in fact. And we should embrace that common thread. And we should embrace that history as a country, because we are a country set up for a moral and good people, as John Adams would say, and none other, in fact. Diversity is not your strength.
Family, I need you to listen closely to our vice president.
You don't have to apologize for being white anymore. You don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
That was JD Vance at a recent Turning Point event, the organization that Charlie Kirk founded. And when I heard Vance's words, I had to ask myself, are we in the 21st century or the 19th century? Because Vance stood there with his whole chest and told white America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. Now, that is a dubious and loaded statement. And it makes me ask, when has white America really apologized? White America isn't even apologetic for the injustices it committed. You see, Vance is trying to portray white people as victims, even while they remain firmly in control of this country. Let me tell you what we heard Vance do. He flexed. On behalf of the Trump administration and MAGA, Vance flexed their power. They're telling white America and the rest of America that whites don't have to account for any of it. He's saying that they don't have to apologize for any evil done in the name of whiteness. They're telling white America to forget the legacy of colonialism and white supremacy, slavery, genocide. They want to erase manifest destiny and the doctrine of discovery. They want to ignore, like it never happened, Jim Crow, lynchings, systemic racism, redlining, sharecropping, convict leasing, segregation. They want to ignore the concentrated black poverty that arose out of all of that. We still see today the consequences of all that evil. And he says white America doesn't have to apologize. You know what was really heartbreaking about this as well? Many black people attended that event, including celebrities like Nicki Minaj. You also had black voices during 2024 actively encouraging other black folks to support and vote for this regime. They all co-signed this message that says, basically, our history, our struggle, they don't really matter. And speaking of reparations, I thought these black voices were all about reparations. Clearly, they are not about reparations. And last of all, the vice president's words absolving and excusing the racial injustices that we've suffered in this country could motivate more racial injustices, including violence. And so that's why I say to us, stay woke.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.